Wait, hold on.
He's stopping,
Teresa. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria. I'm a 30-year-old newly married gal living out in Colorado, and I just moved out here about a year and a half ago for no other reason than adventure. So if you are into living to see the world and adventure and try new foods, experiences, and things in this life, then you are in the right place. It's kind of a quiet period right now because we are staying in Colorado for the holidays, which is kind of rare. It's a transplant city, Denver is, and so a lot of people leave and go home, and we are actually staying, and my mom is coming out this year for a whole week. And so this week is going to be prepping for having that visit with my mother and doing a lot of our last minute Christmas things, watching the Christmas movies that are always on our list, seeing some Christmas lights. I might try to get my husband to do a little bit of talking, and we could talk a little bit about like why we moved out here and how to sort of like take the first steps to do a big move when you have nothing putting the fire under your butt to do so. We didn't move here for a job or anything other than just wanting to explore a new culture. And so I think that is a little bit unusual, especially at our age. So we could definitely talk a little bit about that. But this week on the docket, again, is Christmas lights. Hopefully, we like to drive around just like families would do with their kids because it really just awakens my inner child. And you don't have to have kids to drive around and see Christmas lights, in my opinion. I'm going to catch up with some cycling classes. I'm going to get my last classes in probably for the year. This weekend was so fun. You just saw we went skiing on Saturday at Arapahoe Basin. If you're from Colorado, you know all the ski resorts, but if you're not, a basin is the closest resort to Denver. It is, or at least the closest bigger resort to Denver. I will say kind of a bummer. Ski season is starting, so the crowds really ratcheted up this weekend, and we did sit in a lot of traffic. It was just a high traffic weekend. So busy day on Saturday, but it was really fun skiing with our friends, new and old, and I really appreciated that we were all similar levels. I am a new skier, so just another reason to try new things because you never know what you're gonna like and you never know what you can learn as an adult. I think people get intimidated to try things like that as an adult. I learned to ski at 24, and it's tough to learn as an adult, but I would definitely recommend it. I think it brings out a lot of the beauty in the winter time, and the reason that we're living out in Colorado is so that we can explore outdoors. It's just so beautiful. On the East Coast, I probably would just spend my winters sort of inside, just putzing around, and out here I feel like I always have an activity, and it's just sunny all winter long here, which is like one of my most favorite things about Denver, among many, many others. So skiing was really fun. We also went to the Denver Christkindl Mart. I actually moved here from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which is Christmas City. So for us, I think it's kind of hard to beat the Christmas City, but Denver certainly has its own charm. The Kindle Mart was crazy on Saturday. Another long traffic-y drive down to try to get in, and then we had to wait it out because the line was so long. But once we got in, I feel like really hit a lot of the cute little vendors. My friend bought me a mulled wine, which I just really, really liked. It was just very vibey, very Christmassy, very vibey. And then yesterday I went to a cookie exchange with a new group of girlfriends that I've met here through my college friend, and that was just so lovely. I really appreciated being invited, and I just really appreciate that Denver's a city where everyone is trying to make new friends. This weekend was a lot of fun. Let's see what we get up to this week. Sometimes Luke and I take breaks to play guitar during the workday, and he's playing right now for me. I can go and read your mind, think about your dumb face all the time, living in your glass house, I'm outside. You got me thinking she's so cool, kicking back on the couch, making ice from across the... What you do to get you off? taking down her hair like, oh my God, taking off your shirt, I did that once. Different, sad, sad boy, not my business, but I had to warn ya. Back on the couch making ice cream across the room. I love having leftovers on a Monday, which is kind of rare. But tonight I just heated up some leftovers from last night. I have to leave this recipe because it is so fun, and it's just like a different take on a pasta. I've done a lot of pasta dishes being Italian, and I love them all. They're not always obviously the healthiest, but this one I can make a good rational excuse to have. It is butternut squash pasta. And you literally blend like a little heavy cream with like a ton of garlic and shallots and just straight up squash. And it's like you get this load of veggies in with your pasta. So you could do it a variety of ways. I'm sure you could make it with like zucchini noodles or wheat pasta or chickpea pasta. And it's just so good. Usually I'd make my own rolls, but we have a little crescent roll because you gotta have a little roll with your pasta. So. Okay, it's a little later in the day. We finished our work day. It was actually kind of slow and definitely felt like it was wrapping up for the year, which was so nice. Everyone seems to be in the see you with the new year kind of vibes, which is just how I like it this week because I am off all next week, so just wrapping up some things at work. Yeah, so grateful to have the PTO to be able to take off between Christmas and New Year's. I would love it even more if I had the time off naturally, if work gave me the time off, but alas, we use our PTO, and that's just what you need at the end of the year is a reset. Like, I can't think of Christmas any other way than to have a long break like I did in college. It is Monday night. If I'm not playing volleyball on a Monday, sometimes I'll go to my church group. I hate to even say the word church. I think there's just kind of like a polar divide right now between like the world of people who go to church and the world of people who have church hurt. And so I'll get into that another time, but it's just basically just a group of young people who gather to talk about like hot topics. One time we talked about like, for example, the divide between the intersection of the current like Christian faith and politics and how we navigate as progressive, loving people. I refuse to go walk into a building that claims itself to be a church where you're supposed to be loved by a God, and it excludes any group of people. So that's just my thing. It absolutely has to be LGBTQ affirming if I go there. But anyway, we're going to a little church gathering tonight. I will kind of show you guys a little bit of like what the vibe is. I do go to like a space that's very big. It's actually like a kind of a campus feel. So it's pretty beautiful, and I'll try to get some clips in there. Hello, happy Wednesday. It is officially 1 week until Christmas, and if you are anything like me, that is so hard to stay focused at your corporate job. If you work a 9 to 5 like me and you work from home, this is when working from home gets really tough because you just want to get into the zone of doing nothing but eating cookies and watching Christmas movies, which is what we've been doing this week. So far, we've watched Frosty, we have watched Elf, and we have watched Home Alone, and it's just been so magical. Something that has changed since we moved out here to Colorado about a year ago is that it is a bit tougher to go see family for every holiday, and our holidays look a little different. And one thing I'll say about that is that I honestly don't mind it because We do visit our family a lot during the year, and it's just so magical here in Denver around Christmas because you can get out to the mountains so easily. It's snowy, and like I mentioned, I believe earlier in this video, my mom is coming for a week. To be honest, it's just an adjustment, but now that my husband and I are married, we are creating a lot of our own family traditions, and we have so many transplant friends out here who don't always go home for the holidays. So we've been hanging out with them and just hosting. If you are considering making a move across the country to a new place, Colorado or otherwise, in the next year, I am just here to encourage you that it is so worth exploring something that you have curiosity about. And you can do this at any point in your life, but I will say that for us, we were really interested in doing it before we got into a phase of our lives where we were considering kids. Whether it's hard or not is up for debate. Personally, I think moving was very physically challenging. It was a little bit emotionally challenging. Hi. It was physically and emotionally challenging for many reasons, just family, expectations, and then the actual move itself was so hard. But I have never been so excited in my life. I do think it's something you can do with or without a partner, but for me, I don't know that I would ever have the brave to do it without someone really standing beside me, holding my hand and saying, let's jump together. I would encourage anyone to take this leap because especially in Denver, one of the things I love about living here is that everybody is so open to the exploration of friendship. And that is something that I never experienced on the East Coast. Not to say that my East Coast people are not friendly and lovely, but there is definitely a different vibe about coming here to a city where everyone is just interested in exploring the outdoors. They're interested in a variety of hobbies. The first thing they ask you is not about your job. It's usually about what do you like to do? What are your interests? Where have you traveled to? So it's just so many like-minded people with us. And I can't say that for everywhere you might want to move. I mean, I know moving to a new environment, it can be really hard. If we were moving to a rural environment, it would be a different story, but I think the Denver metropolitan area is one of those just transplant cities in the US, similar to like in Austin or Nashville is another one. It's similar in the sense that there is just so many ways to make community around here. Even if you just sign up for a recreational sports league, I have met so many friends that have literally come to spend Thanksgiving with me that I met just playing a recreational sport. So there are a variety of ways to make friends around here, and people are so outgoing in the pursuit of friendship. So another great thing about living in Denver, if you're thinking about moving here, is the climate. Personally, I think a misconception about moving out west and moving to a state like Colorado is that you're always in the snow, and quite frankly, it couldn't be more opposite. In fact, it's been 50 and 60 degrees the highs in the last month, and it's December. Today is overcast, and that's very unusual. We have like 300 some odd days of sun a year. It is normally sunny and moderate, but you get to escape to different climates literally whenever you want. So for example, in the summer, we camped in Gunnison National Forest, and we got to escape 100-degree heat waves in Denver and sleep in a forest that was, the high was like 80 degrees and dry. And in the winter, we get to have really mild climates here in Denver so that you can still be outside recreationally. But if you want to ski, you're an hour and a half away from the nearest ski resort where there's beautiful snow-covered mountains. One last thing I love about living in Denver is it is such a big hub to get anywhere. The Denver International Airport is honestly, yes, it's a big airport. It can be crowded, but it's so accessible. And I like living somewhat near the airport because we can fly in and out so easily. I never fly connecting. I always fly direct. That's just me personally. So if you're thinking about moving in the upcoming year, just know it's a big change, but everything can be temporary. Nothing has to be permanent forever. You can do it. If we can do it, you can do it. And I'll tell you, we did not spend a lot of money. We moved ourselves out here in our own car, pulling our own trailer. We sold all of our things because they're just things. And you can always start again. To be honest, home is about who you are with, whether that's friends, whether that's family, or whether that's your partner. So just some food for thought. That is sort of what I want to continue to impress upon anyone who's watching. I encourage anyone, female or not, but especially young girls, to take advantage of the time they have on this earth with a body that can move and with any resources they have to be able to explore new cultures. Tonight we are going to see some local lights. A friend of mine on TikTok actually came up with her own list of local amazing light shows from just residential houses that we can go visit, and she privately sent it to me. So we are gonna do that tonight. And then we will get into our weekend. We have a lot going on this weekend. Again, it's another holiday weekend, and then we prep for my mom to come and for a small, intimate family Christmas. So I'm gonna close the vlog out here and share some lights with you. And I'm hoping if you're new here that you would subscribe, because I'm a new content creator. I'm with the TikTok ban and everything going on in the social media space. We all know how hard it is to try and create with how much saturation there is, and those of us who are putting a lot of effort into this, just ask for engagement if you can. Would love to have you stick along for the ride, and yeah, hope to see you all next week. Bye guys.